Hey, it's Bronson from Fish River Roasters. In the last video, we had a look at how to brew a pour over. In this video, we're going to look at some of the troubleshooting you might need along the way. If your coffee is ground too coarse, it'll result in an under-extracted brew. This means that it will take too little time to brew, and there's not enough contact time between the water and the coffee. If your coffee is ground too fine, that'll result in over-extraction and a bitter cup of coffee. It'll also take too long. When brewing a pour over, it's important to use a burr grinder, grinding our coffee to a raw sugar consistency. If you don't have access to a burr grinder, ask your coffee supplier to grind it for you. Just make sure that you're keeping it in a cool, dark, dry place, and that you're using that coffee in a shorter amount of time than you would if it were a whole bean. If your pour over is running on time, but is still tasting bitter and not particularly complex, it may be because of the depth of the roast. When choosing a coffee to use with this method, I'd avoid darker roasts and look for things that are medium to light. If you were looking to have a bit of milk with your cup of coffee, I wouldn't recommend this method. The pour over method really highlights the complexity, sweetness, acidity, and clarity that a coffee bean can offer. If you were looking for an alternative brewing method that can pair well with milk, I'd recommend French press or stovetop espresso. When brewing using the pour over method, it's important to keep in mind that it's not going to turn out exactly the same every time, even if you're following a set of instructions. There are heaps of variables that can affect how your coffee will turn out. If you'd like to learn more about them, follow the link in the description. Otherwise, keep watching as we learn how to make our own pour over method.